everyone, how are you? Hope everybody are doing very well and have a wonderful day so far. This is going to be the theory examination paper, which contributed 80 marks to your overall total. The number of marks for each questions or part question is shown in bracket. Let's begin. Complete the sentence about the nervous system. The brain and spinal cord form the central nervous system. And the nerve coming into and out of the spinal cord are part of the peripheral nervous system. Picture 1.1 shows part of a human eye and 3 neurons that conduct electrical impulses between the eye and the brain. These neurons are involved in the pupil reflex. K is retina. J is a fovea. H is ciliary muscle. G is suspension ligament. H is attached to the suspension ligament. F is a lens. E is iris circular muscle, which is color area of your eyes that surround the pupils, and the function is to control the amount of light that enter to the eyes. And the D is the cornea. Cornea is the outermost lens, which is control and focuses the entry of the light into the eyes. The question is, state the type of neuron identified as A. A is the motor. Table 1.1 show the name of some part of the eye, their functions, and the letter in the figure 1.1 that identify the parts of the eye. Part of the eye is the suspensory ligament, which is G. So you know that suspensory ligament control the size and the shape of the lens through the process called accommodation. And also suspension ligament is attached to the lens via ciliary muscles. And what is the function of contract in response to the bright eyes? So, other names for iris is circular muscles. So the function is to contract in response to the bright lights. So the letters in the figure 1.1 is supposed to be A. Cornea. Cornea is actually, the function is located in the outermost lens, which is control and focus the entry of light into eyes. It's refract and bends light. Okay, and then the position letters in the figure 1.1 is D. The functions of contain a high density of cone for color. Okay, this is fovea. Fovea. So the letters in the figure 1.1 is J. Alright, so this table, if you get the correct answer or similarity, which is around the facts that is given, so you might get full marks, which is 4. The eye can adjust how light is reflected through it in order to focus on the new object. State 1 processes that uses energy when focusing on a new object. Okay, as you know, the function of ciliary muscle, or we can say that ciliary muscles or iris, is the suspensory ligaments are loosened. And the answer is, it could be either. Is uh, either of these. Either you specify ciliary muscles is actually contract. Contracts mean the suspensory ligament are loosened. Okay, so either one of these answer will be accepted as 1 mark. Okay, number 2, mitochondria require oxygen to release energy, which is oxygen is transported to cell in the eyes by red blood cell. State the name of the molecule in the red blood cells that carry oxygen. Remember the words that blood is red because it contains a red pigment or the color substance, which is called hemoglobin. So that's the answer, hemoglobin. Right? This pigment is transport oxygen around your body, the hemoglobin. Okay, let's go to the next question. Explain how oxygen in the capillaries reaches the cells in the eyes. Okay, any from these two will be accepted. Diffusion across cell membranes or down concentration gradient. Through the process of a diffusion, oxygen move down a concentration gradient from the air in a body to the blood across cell membrane. Or you can answer passive process, use of kidney energy, or the movement of molecule. Is you have to choose either, or any facts that you write related to this will be accepted as 2 marks. And eyelashes and eyelid are mechanical barriers that help to prevent particles and pathogens entering the eyes. Give 2 other mechanical barriers that defend the body against pathogen. If you remember, what else? Okay, human body that can defend your body against pathogens. If you can remember, one is your nostril, which is contain hair that help to trap dust, and the other one is the most bigger part, organ, is skin. If you get these 2 correct, that means you get 2 marks. Okay, number 2, state the name of the white blood cell that digests pathogen. If you can remember, this is under chapter 10, where phagocyte the presence of where the several ways where antibody molecule lock into pathogen. So one of them is its alert phagocyte, the presence of pathogen. Phagocyte will come and destroy them, or antibodies start a series of reactions in the blood which produce enzyme to digest pathogen. So the answer, if it is 1 mark, that means you don't have to explain further. So you just stated phagocytes. Conjunctivitis can be caused by pathogen and affect the tissue lining the eyelids and covering the sclera. People with conjunctivitis that is caused by the pathogen can develop active immunity. Explain why the shape of specific parts of a pathogen is important in the development of active immunity. First of all, what is conjunctivitis? Conjunctivitis is something that disease that related to the eyes. So conjunctivitis is pink eyes. They call it as a pink eyes. Is the inflammation or infection of the transparent membrane that lines your eyelid and eyeball. And the characteristic is redness and gritty sensation in your eyes along with itching. So you have to explain why the shape or specific part of pathogen is important in development of active immunity. So as long as your answer is within this selection, you will get 3 marks. Or it can be different pathogen, antigens have different unit shape, pathogen have antigen, lymphocyte will produce specific antibodies. The antibodies are specific to antigen. So as I already mentioned just now, the antibody will destroy pathogens. So as long as within this logic, within this answer, you may get 3 marks. Most insects and some crustaceans have compound eyes. Remember, this is under chapter 1. Okay, so state the name of the group that contain insect and crustacean. The answer is arthropod. Okay, next. The classification of giant pandas, Urolopoda, Melanoleuca, is debated by many scientists. Figure 2.1 show a giant panda eating bamboo plants. And figure 2.2 show a red panda, Ilurus frugen, and polar bear, Pleurosus maritimus, which is polar bear eating fish, and red panda eating bamboo plant. State one dietary component that is more likely to be found in bamboo plant than in a fish. Okay, this is straightforward, where basically what is the component or dietary component that is found in bamboo? You know, bamboo is a type of sugary. So sugar might contain is a glucose or fructose, vitamin C, carbohydrate, starch, and fiber. So any one of this answer, if you apply to this, you might get one answer. And then state 2 features visible in figure 2.1 and figure 2.2 that identify the 3 animals as all belonging to the same vertebral groups. One, basically they have fur, similar external eyes. As long as you, within this answer, you might get 2 marks. DNA can also be used to classify species. Molecular biologists compare the DNA-based sequences of 8 species from the same vertebral group. They use the differences to draw a classification diagram. Figure 2.2 show the classification diagram for these 8 species. The shorter the horizontal distance from 2 species to the branching point that they share, the more similar their DNA sequences are and the more closely the 2 species are related. The scale on figure 2.2 show the time at which the molecular biologists estimate that each branching point occurred. As you see, red panda is actually it lived around about 40 million years ago, and the giant panda 20 million years ago, and the polar bear is roughly around 50 years ago. The question: morphology can also be used to classify species. Some scientists think that morphology suggests that the giant panda is more closely related to the red panda than it is to the polar bear. Discuss the evidence for and against the giant panda being more closely related to the red panda than it is to the polar bear. Use the information in figure 2.1 and figure 2.2 and figure 2.3 in your answer. Basically, this is you can answer about the close related between the animals. So if you answer any 5 from these facts given, so you will be accepted. And then the next is the again, what are the differences? So these are the things that you can find out from the previous graph. The relationships, the number of years the distance between the giant panda and the polar bear, and also the difference between the DNA base sequence. Like, as I said, the red panda first appeared 40 million ago, whereas giant and polar panda is about 20 to 20 million ago they appeared. Alright, and on top of that, you also can add in terms of the mutation and the evolution. So as long as within this answer, you might get 5 marks. Right? State one are the types of evidence that is used to classify the species. So the answer is in terms of the anatomy, the ability to produce a fertile offspring. Okay. Figure 3.1 shows some of the events that occurs in the menstrual cycle. Put the event shown in figure 3.1 into the correct sequence. So, one has been done for you. So, what is actually occurs? The event occurs in the menstrual cycle. So, if you can see here, first of all, the lining of the uterus will get thicker, or the follicle is fully developed, and then gametes is released into the oviducts, and lining of the uterus reaches a maximum thickness, and finally lining of the uterus is removed from the body. Alright, so you might answer is either follicle is fully developed first, or lining of the uterus get thicker first. If either is the correct answer. State the name of the hormone that stimulate event A to occur, which is FSH. Event C means that menstruating female lose blood regularly. Two females of the same age have different dietary needs because one has started menstruating and the other has not started menstruating. Suggest why the dietary needs of the following of the two females are different. So, if you can recall why, first you can touch about what are the lacking in terms of the contents of the vitamins, in terms of the dietary needed. Okay, like for example, what is the most concern about in terms of developing hemoglobin in the red blood cells for transporting of the oxygen? Definitely is the iron. So maybe you can see in terms of the differences in terms of iron is needed. Why iron is needed? Because if you having or if you encounter lack of iron or iron deficiency, it might cause you anemia. And during pregnancy, menstruation does not occur. So show some of the organ of the pregnant woman view from the side. So it asks you to describe what happened between ovulation and the formation of the fetus. Use figure 3.2 to support the answer. So basically, these are the answer given. One is specified that in order to answer this question, it gives you about 6 marks. As long as you can answer within from these six within this, you can give about 6 facts, your answer will be accepted. One, it could be sperm, male gametes are deposited, and vagina or travel through are cervix, and egg sperm gamete travel to P oviduct, enzyme from chromosome sperm digest jelly coat around egg, fertilization, forming or diploid zygote, zygote embryo travel down, and so on. You are describing about the process where fertilization occurs. So in this situation, a part of it, so it will give you full marks to get 6. So in order to get a full mark in terms of description, especially in the theory paper, you have to identify what is the independent variable and dependent variable. So with that being said, I would like to end my presentation. Last but not least, I hope every one of you are doing very well in your upcoming exam. You can follow me at Instagram. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.